Everyone, my name is Harshita Jain and I'm currently an intern at Lexis & Company. Today I'm going to talk about negligence and the negligence caused by medical professionals. So, what is the meaning of negligence? Negligence is the breach of duty caused by the omission to do something which a reasonable man, guided upon those considerations which ordinarily regulate the conduct of human affairs, would do, or doing something which a prudent or reasonable man would not do. So some of the essential constituents of negligence are existence of duty of care owed by the defendant towards the plaintiff. Second is the breach of duty of care, that is failure to observe the due care and skills. The third is the consequence damages to the plaintiff. Every person who enters into a particular profession undertakes to bring to the exercise of its reasonable degree of care and skill. The doctor must bring to his task a reasonable degree of skill and knowledge and must exercise a reasonable degree of care. Neither the very highest nor a very low degree of care, and competence judged in the light of the particular circumstances of each case is what the law requires. A doctor or a surgeon is expected to show the care and skills of not of an ordinary layman but a member of his class. He does not undertake that he will perform a cure, nor does he undertake to use the highest possible degree of skill, as there may be persons of higher education and greater advantages than himself. But he undertakes to bring a fair, reasonable, and competent degree of skill and care. For negligence to amount to an offence, the element of mens rea must be shown to exist. For an act to amount to criminal negligence, the degree of negligence should be much higher, that is, gross or a very high degree. Negligence, which is neither gross nor a very high degree, may provide a ground for action is civil law but cannot form the basis of prosecution. Now I'm going to discuss about some the factors essential in medical professional, like the factors that are required by the doctors to be taken due care of or to consider while treating a patient or performing a surgery and anything. So first it is the doctor's duty to attend the patient. Like if a doctor does not take care to attend a patient admitted in an emergency ward of the hospital and the patient suffers and dies, then the doctor would be liable. This was seen in the case of Shishir Rajan Saha versus State of Tripura, Air 2002, Gaon 102. The senior specialist doctor of a government hospital was repeatedly called, but he did not bothered to come to the hospital as he was busy attending his private patients. The petitioner's son succumbed to the injuries, and the doctor was held responsible to pay rupees 1,25,000 as compensation for the death of the deceased. Now, second factor can be it is the doctor's duty of care towards the patient. A person who holds himself out ready to give medical advice and treatment impliedly undertakes that he is possessed of skill and knowledge of the purpose. When a doctor attends to his patient, he owes him certain duties of care. First, like a duty of care in deciding whether to undertake the case. Second, like a duty of care in deciding what treatment is to be given. And third, a duty of care in the administration of the treatment. A breach of any of these duties gives a right of action for negligence to the patient. A doctor can be held liable for his negligence for the same. Now, there are many situations that occur, when in the hospitals or when in treatments or during surgeries. So, there was this case of a newly born child missing. This was seen in the case of Jasbir Kaur versus State of Punjab, AIR 1995. A newly born child was found missing in the night from the bed. The child was found profusely bleeding and with one eye totally gorged near the wash basin of a bathroom. The plaintiff contended replacement of the child, whereas the hospital authorities contended that the child had been taken away by a cat, which caused the damage to him. The court presumed that the hospital authorities were negligent and awarded the compensation of rupees 1 lakh to the same. If there are any doubts, do mention them in the comment box. I'll be happy to answer them. Now there can be another factor like that of unsuccessful sterilization. This was seen in this case of state of Haryana versus Santra, year 2000. The facts were that Santra was having 7 children and therefore approached the CMO Gurgaon for sterilization, which was done under the state-sponsored family planning program. She developed pregnancy even after the operation and gave birth to a female child. Thus, there was additional economic burden and on the poor person. The court held that the doctor was negligent per se. He obviously failed in his duty to care. And therefore, both state and the doctor were held liable to pay the damages to the plaintiff. Now, another thing that doctors should take care of is to inform the patient's family or relatives or whosoever is the attendee to the patient the risk involved in the surgery of the patient. It is the doctor's duty to disclose the risks involved in a surgery. So, in the case of Malay Kumar Ganguly versus Sukumar Mukherjee, the Supreme Court held that the standard of care on the part of the medical professional involved the duty to disclose to patients about the risk of serious side effects of medicines or about alternative treatments. If the doctor or hospital knowingly failed to provide some amenities that are fundamental for patients, it would certainly amount to medical malpractice. But an act which may constitute negligence or even rashness under torts may not amount to the same under section 304 of IPC. Another situation can be like for example, doctor left some artificial or foreign material inside the patient's body while conducting a surgery. So, it was seen in a case of Achutrao Kwadwa versus State of Maharashtra, AIR 1996. In this case, what happened? A mop, that is a towel, was left inside a woman's peritoneal cavity while she was operated upon for sterilization in a government hospital, which caused peritonitis, which resulted in her death. The conclusion of the negligence was drawn against the doctors by applying the principle of res ipsa liquitor, and the government was variously held liable. The disciplinary control of the Medical Council of India does not negate the liability of doctors for negligence. Another situation can be like when transfusion of blood takes place. A blood group, like if the person is A positive and he or she is transfused with a blood group of, let's say, B positive. So this was seen in the case of R.P. Sharma versus State of Rajasthan. In this, the petitioner's wife was operated for removal of gallstone in SMS Hospital, Jaipur. The doctor was advised transfusion of blood group O positive to the patient. One bottle of the same blood group was transfused, and after that, another bottle was obtained from the blood bank. Due to the negligence of the hospital staff, the new bottle was of different blood group, that is, it was of B positive. Soon after the transfusion of this blood, she lost her eyesight and later on died. The defendant was vicariously liable for the negligence of the hospital staff. Now, another can be when failure to perform in an emergency operation or in an emergency situation. This was seen in the case of Dr. T.T. Thomas versus Elisa, AIR 1987, Kerala 42. It has been held that failure to perform an emergency operation to save the life of a patient amounts to a doctor's negligence. In this case, the plaintiff's husband was admitted as an inpatient in a hospital on 11 March 1974 for complaint of severe abdominal pain. It was diagnosed as a case of acute appendicitis requiring immediate operation to save the life of the patient. The doctor failed to perform the operation and the patient died on 13 March 1974. It was held that the doctor was negligent in not performing the surgery and was therefore liable for the death of the patient. The doctor's plea that the patient had not consented to the operation was rejected. In this regard, it was held that the burden of proof was on the doctor to show that the patient had refused to undergo the operation. In this case, the doctor had failed to conceivably prove the same. Negligence in the context of medical profession necessary calls for treatment and with the difference. These are some of the situations that I discussed with you, but there can be a lot more situations, and they actually are a lot more situations. A breach of duty is committed by a doctor when he does not conform the standard and degree of care, like reasonable doctor of his time or as a member of his class. The standard of knowledge and care differs in different times. A doctor cannot be held negligent simply because something went wrong. With the best skill in the world, things sometimes amiss in the surgical operations or medical treatment. Also, the doctors, he can be held liable only when he fell below the standard of reasonable care or duty. The doctor would not be liable merely because he chooses one course of action in preference to the other one available, if the course of action chosen by him was acceptable by the medical professional. So it can be concluded that a person lacking the requisite skills which he professes to possess, and the failure to exercise with reasonable competence and the skill possessed by a professional is a case of professional negligence. There are two separate questions that can be considered: whether the defendant made a mistake, and second, if so, whether the mistake was one which which a reasonably careful and skillful medical practitioner would not have made. The claim must succeed on both the questions in order to establish negligence. The test to determine negligence is not the highest expert skill, but the standard of an ordinary skilled doctor exercising and professing to have that special skill. So if there are any doubts or questions, do mention them in the comment box. I'll reply to them as soon as possible. Thank you for watching.